everyone, it's Megan Elizabeth with AboveRubyStudio.com, and this Tuesday tutorial is all about the newly released man kit that just came out, and this is the last Megan Elizabeth kit that I will be putting together at least for quite some time, if not forever. Life has changed quite a bit for me recently, and just ordering and doing everything that goes into these kits is just a little bit too much for me right now, so I'm going to take a break from some kits and different things, and I'm going to just be focusing in a few other areas right now. So there's limited supplies. There's less than 100 of these kits available. They're going to go fast because we usually do several hundred kits at a time, and yeah, they go really fast. So this is the last kit. Get it while you can. This is all about men. I'm going to be doing a scrapbook layout with this, and it's going to be really a basic and simple scrapbook layout using really just the elements in the kit. The only extra thing that I think I'm going to be using is my adhesive, my scissors, and my paper trimmer. Everything else is included, even your ink, and yeah, I think everything is here. So I don't have everything completely planned out, but we're going to be pretty darn close to it. I might use a white gel pen because I just can't leave my white gel pen alone. It's almost an essential for me. If you watched, I did a video using the my Cricut Expression 2 on my Gypsy. It had the when nights turn into days and friends turns into family. And these were the two pieces of paper that were left from that. I told you to keep your packaging from the My Mind's Eye paper, or the bottom strip, because you can use it, and I'm going to use that on this layout. And we'll do the same thing with this. This is going to be my base for my layout, this checkered pattern. And it's going to be a kind of busy layout, but I think it's going to be really, really fun. So we're going to just do that. And we're also going to keep this wood grain pattern here along the bottom. So you just want to trim that out. This is all the basics bottom strip of your My Mind's Eye paper that came with your kit. So you don't have to cut up extra little strips of paper. You're using what basically would be the trash if you plan it just right. So that's what we're doing. And we're also going to use this Echo Park. This is the Times and Seasons paper, and I'm going to be using these little like tags here, and I might use this or this journal tag yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that, and I might even use the bicycle because the bicycle is in this particular, we're going to use that on this particular layout. The little wooden bicycle that comes with your kit. So we're going to start by cutting out these little tickets here, and I'll save the rest for later. I don't know that we're going to use them for sure, so we'll get back to that in just a bit. What I am going to do, let's unpackage our little bicycle. I think this thing is so cute. I really do. That's like adorable. Stinking adorable. It's going to be just a little bit of everything here. So what I am going to do, this is, like I said, the strip left over. This is 12 inches long. It's probably 2 1/4 inches wide. Yeah, we're going to use that. And I'm going to use my Glue Glider Pro. I'm using the push function. So if you remember with the Glue Glider Pro, you can do push, or if you flip the cartridge over, you can do a pull, which is really awesome. You get extra adhesive action and a lot of versatility, which I really, really, really love about this thing. And you can use it on so many different surfaces. It's just so awesome. All right, so let's see. We want this wood grain pattern going right in the middle of these checkers. And just like so. Trying to line it up. If I weren't going that way, it wouldn't be so difficult, but that's okay. Alrighty, now I want something to kind of anchor down my bicycle, so I thought these strips coming out of the side here could really kind of help me out. And we can do a little bit of like an angle cut on here, and this is going to just really help anchor down where my bicycle is going to be on here, without doing too much extra like matting or anything like that, which I thought was pretty awesome. And I'm just using the strips. So now what I need to do is ink up my edges. I'm going to use my Rainy Days In ink. And I am inking literally scraping it right across. This is really, really wet and juicy. So be aware, it's gonna make a little bit of a mess when you do this because it's a wet, juicy pigment ink that is meant for inking edges, embossing, doing those crafty fun things with. And this gray is so, it has a little bit of like a metallic silver to it, but it really is a gray color. And that's honestly what I love about it so much, is that it is a true gray. Now let me see here, where did I want this to go exactly? So I think right about here will be good for this. Get it as close to even as possible. And then it really looks like it's another strip of paper you cut out. It doesn't look like packaging in any way. And the grays go so well. I can't believe how well they go. I planned it, but I couldn't have planned it better because I didn't know how close my grays would go. This gray was meant to go with the paper layers collection and some of the grays in that. And I'm gonna actually swipe this gray along the top just because of the colors in here. I want some of that gray to kind of distress through. Really, really easy to do. I'm gonna make a few dots of adhesive on there, and I'm just gonna slide this underneath, and this is gonna actually come out further. So I'm gonna layer this on top a little bit to give that definition. How far over do we want it to go? Probably there is good. And then I want the bike to go on there, and I am going to use some ink on here as well, believe it or not. Just a little bit of that gray is going to tie those colors together. We want that wood to still show through, but it's just going to make it look like we meant all this to go together, which we do. We want to tie in the elements of our scrapbook layouts to anchor everything together and just make it something beautiful in a simple way. So you can really just see that soft, subtle gray on there. Again, tying in the colors of the wood panel, the ink on here, the whole 9 yards. The other thing we can do is add this strip down here, which I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do from like start to end or just go to like the 8, which I might do. I might just go to the 8, but let's kind of see how this lays on here first. Okay. For this, I'm actually going to use my zip dry paper glue. It's really fast drying and it does work really well on even the little wood embellishments, and you just have a lot of control, and it does really dry pretty fast. So I'm using that, and I do keep a little pin in the top to keep it from clogging. There's a couple recommended ways of doing it, but what I found really works for me is just keeping a pin right in the top. So that's what I do. I'm gonna place this down and then I'll show you my pin. What I'm doing is using kind of the spokes of the wheel here to tie the papers in together. So I'm kind of hiding the seam by using the other element of the bike. Just like that. And then I just use a regular like hat pin is what I stick in the top and keep it working for me. And then I always just kind of stick the lid on top of that. Okay, I also have the Hello There Handsome, and there's the same like kind of wood grain pattern, and I was going to use that kind of like as my photo matting element or piece or title or everything kind of all in one. And what I did not grab is some solid cardstock. I'm actually grabbing some green. This is from my stash of solid cardstock. I know I said I was using everything with the kit, but I'm going to just grab this anyway. You can use anything in the kit for this, but it's some dark green that I thought, oh, this is going to just work. I think this is really what I want. So I'm using what I want, and I'm going to cut it to 5.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. It's really the size I want to use here. I am going to do some inking of the edges with the gray. Again, it's all about tying everything together for me on this particular layout. It's going to soften that edge, give it that rusticy feel. It's not going to be incredibly noticeable. I'm going to just do a couple quick little Really cool thing about the Glue Glider Pro, if you can kind of see here, you can just do a couple little, I want to say like rectangles at a time, which I really, really like. You don't have to do like big, huge strips on everything you're working on. So I'm going to pull this out here a little bit. You know, it's going to go almost even. We'll let it go even. You can let it do that. And what I want to do is kind of tuck this in underneath. Do I? I don't really want this. I'm going to cut this off. It says we, they. I don't know why it says that because I like that it just says hello handsome. So I'm just going to cut off the we, they. Right there. You can use that for something else, I'm sure. Come up with something. And then this is going to go right on top here, and I like that much better. Much better. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this off. I'm gonna do the tape along the bottom. I'm gonna cut it off at the 8, or right before the 2 here, before the 9. I think that's a good length. And I'm gonna use my glue glider, believe it or not. And I can push this right along here, and this is gonna work just fine to hold this down. So I'm gonna place it kind of underneath. I'm gonna leave a little space between my paper and my, whatever you want to call this, canvas ruler. So end to end there. And I told you I probably would end up using my white gel pen. I'm going to right along the inside of my green. Now remember, this is where my photo is going to go. I don't have a photo here yet, but I want to use a picture of Benson that I have in mind on his bike. I Instagrammed it. So I used like a sepia or one of the settings on there. And once I get that printed out, I think it's going to look really, really, really cool with this kind of feel for a layout. And he's on his bike, and I just think it's going to be cute. So again, I feel like white gel pen kind of ties things together for me when I'm doing like edge to edge kind of stuff. Personal preference. Everybody feels differently about it, so. Alrighty. So that is my 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. Hello there, handsome. And you know, the bicycle and everything, and I think it's pretty basic and simple to do. Really created the start to finish with just very little prep time. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. And I know you can do the same thing too, because this is so easy. Now if you wanted to, I am going to add this in just for your own sake. If you wanted to add in the journal card, you could do something like right here, or cut this one out and do it right there. You know, pretty much any one of the cards that would go with this. Oh, I wanted to use these. Oh, I was going to use these. So you could even use these as like your little journal tags and like kind of stick it in there. Put your picture in and then stick that down. Actually, I'm going to do that. I am going to do that. And then I can do a little bit of like journaling about the day and him riding his bike and such. So let's do that. Let's just grab the little glue, little adhesive. I'm going to leave a little space that I can tuck my picture under. Make sure I don't have adhesive there. Stick this in, tuck it in, and then I'll just cut off my end that overhangs. Pretty simple. Yeah, and then I'll just do a little bit of journaling there once I put my picture in. Okay, that ties up my scrapbook layout. I was going to use that and I forgot. So, alright guys, thank you so much for watching this Tuesday tutorial, and I'll see you again really soon at AboveRubyStudio.com. Bye-bye.